There we go. Hey, Jim, how are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, I know you've had one heck of an ASEA experience. I know your friend Joe from New York reached out to you and told you about these crazy molecules, and I guess you were open to listening, right?
Yes, I was opening to listening to what he had to say. He was in a computer class I taught, and every once in a while he would just tell me about this product. And the only thing he would really stress is no side effects.
Uh-huh. So tell us what your life was like when he called you and what were you doing with your life right then?
Well, when I met Joe, I was in a wheelchair with a ailment that put me there since '89, and I had severe tremors, which on one of my good days I could make you a milkshake in 15 minutes, and I suffered from a lot of pain and a lot of low energy, and I was very confined to the wheelchair from the time I got up to the time I went to bed uh, for pretty close to almost 30 years.
Wow. So he called you and told you about ASEA, and so did you decide to take it?
Well, not at first. Uh, was happen we were Skyping on Skype on a Sunday night, and his buddy Edward had called and asked how I was doing, and I said, "Oh, I was due to go back to my neurologist for some new medicine to help with the pain and the severe tremors." And he's just said, "Well, it's time." So at that time, I didn't know anybody around here about the product or anything. So I ordered it on a Sunday night. I got it on a Wednesday, and I started just taking two and two. And by Friday, I was able to uh, stand up out of my wheelchair and start pushing it around the house. And then I would crawl down the basement steps to exercise bike in the basement and do that for about an hour before breakfast, and then come up. And I wasn't tired. I had enough energy to keep going, and I would do the bicycle then after lunch, and then about an hour after supper.
So are you telling me you were in a wheelchair for 30 years and 3 days after taking this product, you were able to stand up out of your wheelchair?
Yep.
Really? And so, I mean, what did your wife say? What did you say? What did your doctors say? What did your friends say? What did your neighbors say? I mean, what did
Well, I was strictly, I just did that. I was just strictly in the house, and I didn't get out until I was getting a little stronger. I didn't really venture outside much until after I went to see I had an appointment with my uh, uh, three doctors at that time. And of course, I told all three of them um, what I was doing. I showed them the bottle, and my heart doctor, he just sloughed it off and said it was salt water. I said, okay, that's salt water. But then I asked him if he knew anything about the redox molecule. Oh, then he examined me and took the flyer I had at that time, left the room, and he came back and he stood in front of me. And he said, "Jim, boy, you've really changed since I first met you. You're lot clearer talk, and you're a lot sharper, and I don't want to see you for 18 months. I said, okay, fine with me. I haven't seen him since. And so then the next day was my neurologist, and so I told him what I was doing, and I showed him what I was able to do then, to get up and move the wheelchair around. And so he decided not to try the new medication, but he kind of made a face, and I told him, and I said only twice a day. And he just said, well, that's a natural product. Said, yeah, it is. And I said, look what it's doing. Well, he said, it might be a little expensive. Oh, I said, okay. But the prescription you put me on, I can only take 3 pills. And after the second day of taking that, I couldn't talk, eat, stand, or do anything myself. And so I quit taking that and went on this. And for the price of that one prescription, I can get 2 cases of this to my door, 8 bottles, and last me over 2 months. And tell you the truth, I haven't seen him for going on 4 years now.
Wow. Wow. So have you ventured out of your house now? Are you walking outside your house?
Oh, have I ventured outside my house? Yes. In the morning, decent 5 o'clock in the morning, I take a walk, and I go about 6 blocks and pick up some day-old newspapers for the senior citizens and come back. And then at noon, I go out and I walk. Oh, I have walked about 6 to almost 8 miles after lunch. And then after supper, I would walk probably another 4 miles around town. And to this day, I still walk in the morning and walk in the afternoon when it's decent, and work in the garden at night.
Wow. Wow. And so are you walking with a walker or just plain on your own?
A rollator. I wore out 4 rollators.
What's a
Now,
rollator?
plus the fact when on the weekends, if it's decent, I get out the bicycle and ride that up and down.
There you go. And are you shoveling your own driveway and mowing your own yard and that kind of stuff?
Yep. I just worked at it the other night when we got those 12 inches. It took me about 2 days to clean off part of the driveway, but I had to get a fellow to help clean the front end of the drive because it was a bunch of ice in and I couldn't move the snow. But yeah, I do shovel and mow and garden work.
Wow. So Jim, I know you took a trip one weekend and I know you only took a day bag, a carry-on, and you didn't check your ASEA in your luggage. Tell us about that trip. What happened to you on your overnight trip?
Well, the wife had to go for a pulmonary examination in Ohio. So the only way to get there was to fly. And at that time, I didn't have the pouches, or I had just the ASEA and the Renew. So, and I couldn't take, they told me I couldn't take my 32-ounce bottle on a carry-on. So I said, okay, no problem. We're only going to be gone 24 hours. I'll take a double dose here before we left, which is at that time 4 ounces. And then we went from O'Hare to Minneapolis, from Minneapolis down to Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. And we stayed overnight, and she had her test, and we got back to the airport in Columbus, Well, we had to wait for a plane from Atlanta, and that was getting late. And I was sitting there, and the wife asked me what the problem was. And I said, well, I'll give that plane another half hour. And if it isn't here then, I'm going to need help. And I said, I cannot manipulate very good from now on. Walk. So the plane was an hour and a half late. They helped me get on the plane, a wheelchair. We got to Atlanta. They got me a wheelchair, and the flight crew was very decent. They helped me. They said that they were going to Chicago too. And when I got to Chicago, they got me another wheelchair, and we got out to the fellow who was picking us up. He took one look, and he said, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to get you home?" I said, "Well, just get me to the car." And the wife said, "When you get home, get us home, pull by the driveway and I'll get his wheelchair." We got back to Lanark at 11:30 at night. And the wife went in the garage and got my wheelchair. I got in the house. I took 4 ounces of ASEA, went and cleaned up, came out, took another 2 ounces, went to bed. I got up Saturday morning at 5 o'clock, took another 2 ounces of ASEA and put my coat on. And she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going out after the papers and then come home and have breakfast and we're going to the farmer's market." So that's what I did. And when I come home, I took another 2 ounces and I've been going ever since.
There you go. Yeah, I guess you don't want to be without your ASEA, huh?
I'll tell you, Cindy, I can, it is my miracle, and I can't be without it.
Yeah. Yeah, every day you take it.
I take it right now. I'm taking uh 4 ounces in the morning, and then I found out I take 6 ounces when I go to bed, and I sleep real good.
Good for you.
Plus, I take the Avia, and the Renew has helped tremendous and stuff. So it's been if I could tell Miss Vertus and Tyler, they have been my lifesaver and has given me the ability to do stuff that I was able to do when I was back in the 20 and 30.
Wow. Wow. So do you think ASEA is expensive?
To be honest with you, no, because well, I get told my neurologist the price of that 1 month prescription, and that was low dose at that time. For the price of that 1 month, I get 2 cases of ASEA, 8 bottles and it lasts. It doesn't last as long now as it did before, but I was able to get it to last a month and a half to 2 months.
There you go. And there's no side effects, no contraindications, no allergic reactions. It's not hurting you any, right?
No, the only side effect is it gives me energy.
There you go. But then you take it at night and you sleep like a baby. So that's good, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
It is, and it's my miracle.
Yeah. Well, I know your doctors were calling you the miracle man, right?
Yes. My primary care doctor I see twice a year, and everything I do medicine and every information I get, I take to him. I take the empty bottles, and he looks it up. And sometimes he'll take a picture of the. He took couple pictures of the supplement bottles and what's on the back, and he has made the remark with his help and what I'm taking, that it is remarkable on how far I've come with taking the ASEA and with working with him. And he, every time I go, that's the first question the nurses and him both ask, are you still taking the product? And I am.
Yeah, good for you. Well, Jim Eckburg, thank you so much. I know you've changed so many lives. I know you do phone calls for people all over the world, sharing your story and letting them know that this is real. This is not made up. You know, it sounds maybe too good to be true, but this is the truth, right?
Right. It is not like they used to say in the old Dr. Nellie's snake venom or snake ointment or what. This is a real, true stuff. It's natural. It's native to your body, and it works.
There you go. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you, Cindy. Sometime when you have